Who the hell are you, man?
I am Venom. I'm just kidding. It's Dr. Michael Morbius at your service. And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nerds New Bully. I'm your host Leroy, aka Sugar Don't Go on Grits, with my co-hosts.
It sure don't. Yeah, this is Eli, aka Fearless Vampire Killer.
Bam! There you go. Yeah, and we're back with the episode, and yeah, we got a full plate. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of movies, a whole bunch of comics, and just jump into it. Eli, I do want to say that I'm glad things are slightly starting to get back to normal, because last week crazy shit happened on TV that we had to stop everything we're doing to talk about it. But now life can get back to normal. We can talk about stuff we were doing before. We can talk about, the war, gas prices, how shitty the Lakers are right now. We can actually talk about regular stuff we want to talk about,
WrestleMania. I watched WrestleMania last night because
I
could.
Is that still a thing?
I guess it was on Peacock, because I still subscribe to Peacock, and you can just watch WrestleMania. It's just on.
Wait.
To buy a pay-per-view or nothing.
Are you serious?
Just on. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I promise I didn't know that. I thought I had to subscribe and so I can just watch WrestleMania.
I haven't watched WrestleMania since I was a kid. Saw Stone Cold wrestle again, first time in 20 years. I saw Ronda Rousey for the first time since she got her ass whooped in UFC. So
wow, you are shitting me. I did not know that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, hey, WrestleMania, I can just watch this? No shit. So I threw it on. Of course, there's a bunch of folks I'd never heard of.
What's interesting about it is that a lot of people don't know that, but they can listen to a podcast and find out about this information. So look, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, and I guess tonight there was another. There's two nights. There's another night
part
going
1,
on tonight.
WrestleMania part 2. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, yeah.
So
but
I might watch it after. I might watch. I just might or not. I don't know.
I'll check it out. Nothing else to do. All right, so yeah, everybody's here. We are going to talk about a movie. We saw a movie. We're just going to jump into it. Before we get into the movie, we're also going to do a history of Morbius. Also, let you know some background of the character, who he is, where he came from. Just real quick, we will say it was a bad movie. If you want to know what we think about it, it's a bad movie. But how bad was it? That's why you want to stick around. So first thing we're going to jump into it. First thing we're going to talk about is cinema. We're going to talk about cinema related to Michael Morbius, because early this week the movie was released on April the 1st, April Fool's Day, which I thought it was stupid at first, but now I'm starting to think that it was actually smart marketing, because you got a whole bunch of Facebook and Twitter posts just saying Morbius was the best movie ever, but it was an April Fool's joke, but people don't know that, so they just fall for it. But somebody fell for it. And the person that fell for it, this is actually hilarious. It's funny because it was actually your boy. What actually, Marshall says he didn't fall for it. I'm just saying the person that fell for it was Tyrese. Tyrese fell for it. And the reason he fell for it was because there was a Facebook, Twitter post floating around saying how Morbius is true cinema, and Martin Scorsese saw the movie and apologized to every comic book movie ever, because this is the pinnacle of cinema and this is where things go. So he made a post on an Instagram post saying about, and he tagged the director saying this is high praise. Martin Scorsese knows movies, so of course, him knowing our movie, we really appreciate it. Now, at first you think, okay, maybe Tyrese is on the joke and maybe he's doing an April Fool's joke. But the point was the post was still up the next day. So he didn't know it was an April Fool's joke. He doesn't know the running gag that we all have about Martin Scorsese, that Martin Scorsese basically says these comic movies, they're shit. So anytime a movie comes out, we just joke around and say, oh, is this cinema? Is the Batman cinema? Is No Way Home cinema? I will tell you this, Morbius is not cinema. So there is no way Martin Scorsese will say that. If anything, this movie kind of proves Martin Scorsese right,
Well,
but
it had a lot of razzmatazz that looked good on the big screen.
Yeah, it's a theme park, which is
Yeah,
what
it
he's
was
been
like,
saying,
yeah,
but that's what's going on with that one. So yeah, so
putting in the Ritz,
yeah. So the funny thing about it, Eli, the moment I sent you that post, which was early today, it's now been deleted.
Okay.
So apparently Tyrese caught on. He was like, "Oh shit, they making fun of me right now. Let me take this shit down." But you know what? I don't blame Tyrese. He's not in our world, even though he's in all these movies we see. He's not in our world. He doesn't. He's not supposed to know that. How you supposed to know about the running gag that we know about Martin Scorsese? So anyway, that being said,
Yeah, I mean, God bless him. He's probably like, really? People don't like the Transformers movies? What the fuck?
right? I thought it was high cinema also. So they were joking with me when they said that. Fast and Furious. They really don't like these movies, So all this time he thought he was a good actor. Hate to bust your bubble. Anyway, let's jump into it. So what we're gonna do before we go into it, Eli, we're gonna bring back an old classic. Give it to me. What was the number one movie of the week?
Oh, it was a comic book movie.
Right. Wasn't a Disney movie. Wasn't a Disney movie. It was and that's we want to stress. We want to stress with high purpose. This was not a Disney movie. Even though Sony wants you to think that with every fiber of their being. But yes, Morbius was number one at the box office with 39 million, then some other shit also. Eli, the Batman dropped off pretty fast, even though the Batman has already hit 700 million for the year. It's kind of dropped off pretty fast.
Yeah,
Like
it's gonna be on TV like next week or some shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be quick. So, and a lot of people just wait. Like them people like, I'll just wait. It's okay. People don't want to sit in a movie theater for a 3-hour movie. I'm shocked.
Oh man.
Yeah. So anyway, what we're gonna do, we're just gonna start off before we actually jump into Morbius, because like I said, what we like to do, since we are a comic book podcast, we are going to do some history on Morbius.
Go deep.
Go deep. Balls deep, in the history
all
of
up
Morbius.
In those guts, yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, let me do this. History of Morbius. I'm gonna just throw some stuff out there. So Eli, what's the first time you heard of Morbius?
First time I heard of Morbius?
Yeah, because I get a chance to do this with Batman, but I can do this with Morbius.
Probably some Spider-Man shit when I was a kid, but the first time I actively read his shit was during the Midnight Suns in the early 90s. The whole Ghost Rider was going on.
Yeah, they tried to bring him back, make him a thing.
Yeah. Well, Ghost Rider was huge at the time. Ghost Rider, they brought Ghost Rider, but Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. They relaunched Ghost Rider with Danny Ketch. And again, back, I'm always praising the Howard Mackie Ghost Rider run. That was Danny Ketch. That got big. It was a hit for a while. And they decided to do an event, the Marvel event, the tie-in, the big crossover event. And that was the Rise of the Midnight Suns, where they fought Lilith, and Morbius was a part of that. Morbius did Modesty.
Yeah.
At 7? Oh, when you were 7 years old.
No.
Not at 7 o'clock, right? 7 years old?
I thought he was 7 out of 10. But yeah, okay. He scared me. Okay, it did Modestly. Okay, then. God, he did.
Well,
okay,
welcome, C-Lou.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Let me see. C-Lou. And actually, that's where I'm getting at also. Because there's a reason. Morbius is kind of has roots in the horror genre, in the comics, and that's why we're going to go deep. That's why we're going to go deep and see exactly where Morbius came from. So the thing is with Morbius is that, I appreciate you for give me a little time space here. All right. So thing is, back in say the 1950s. Now, beyond if everybody didn't know this, superhero comics were not the most popular comics back in the 40s and 50s. Well, let's say the 50s and 60s. 50s, let's say the 50s. Because the 30s you had, in the 40s you had the World War II, there was some superhero comics. But then during the 50s, the most popular comics around the time were crime comics, horror comics. That's what everybody was watching. That's what everybody was looking at, But that's when the Comics Code Authority came in and wiped all that away. So there were no more crime comics, horror comics, supernatural creatures, things like that. All that stuff had to go because it wasn't approved by the Comics Code Authority. They had to just do superhero stuff, and that was it. So that's why it became so popular in the 60s.
Well, then they had to do Creepy and Tales from the Crypt, but they were magazine size, so they didn't.
Right. They didn't really count. Yeah.
They didn't really count as comics. They were the size of a magazine. They could call it a magazine and not a comic book.
Right. So there was all kind of loopholes and stuff like that. House. Let's see what Gabe got.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Midnight
Midnight
Suns.
Suns. When I first noticed somebody sticks out for most of Spider cartoon. I'm gonna get to the Spider-Man cartoon also. All that's gonna be in the history of right now. Let's get to it because people want to get to the thing. So, okay, so the Comics Code Authority came in the 60s, wiped away all horror, all crime comics, basically because they thought they were a little bit too raunchy for kids. Basically, comics in the 50s were what rap music and Grand Theft Auto is for today. You know, it's destroying the youth, you know. But in the 70s, like the early 70s, the Comics Code kind of lightened up a little bit. So where basically all monsters were banned. So there were no vampires, there were no werewolves, there were no zombies, there were no ghosts. None of that stuff were in comics around in the 1960s. But the moment they let that stuff up, boom, they were back on it. In the 1970s, you can now have vampires, now have zombies, and basically that's where Morbius came in. So Morbius was actually the first like Marvel monster, like out of anybody, because the moment they let up, they came him in. And once they brought Morbius in, that's when they brought everybody else, and they dropped him in like a Amazing Spider-Man. So he was just an obscure Spider-Man villain back then, but that's why he's important, you know.
But and they also made him living. He wasn't like an undead. He wasn't like a real vampire, like a dead vampire.
That is true, and that's because they wanted to tiptoe around a little bit. They're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna make him a vampire, but let's just in case if they have issues. Let's say Ghost Rider very collectible. I found this faded Fear number 21. You found it in the Chevy? Okay. Hang on to that one. Okay. Yeah, so like I said, we had that, and then that ushered in a whole horror line of comics. That's when you got Werewolf by Night. That's where you got Tomb of Dracula. That's where you got Ghost Rider. That's where you got Son of Satan. The Marvel just went nuts around that time. So all this stuff came in the 70s where they could get away with that stuff. But that wasn't it. Not only with the Comics Code Authority wasn't allowing like monsters and supernatural creatures, they also weren't allowing like literary adaptations of stories. So in the 70s, also brought in Conan and the Marvel comics, and also Fu Manchu, where Shang-Chi came from those comics also. So all this stuff came in the 70s, just went nuts from there. But the thing is, once you brought in Morbius and you brought in Morbius Living Vampire, and now you can bring in all these other literary characters like Dracula, why use Morbius when you can just use Dracula? So he kind of faded away. Like he was a thing for a while, but he kind of just faded away. So like for a whole like 2 decades, nobody paid attention to him until this one. Let you take off, Eli. The Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
You know, so that's when they Marvel decided, let's make an Avengers Justice League horror team. Let's get all our
like a
guys
Justice League Dark.
Yeah,
Kinda
before
like
Justice League Dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what that thing was. But Morbius, even then, he wasn't like a big deal. He was just padding out the team, padding out the roster. You know, we really want to see Ghost Rider. We want to see Blade.
It was basically, it was basically Ghost Rider and Johnny Blaze at the time.
Right.
Like I said, they relaunched Ghost Rider with Danny Ketch, but Johnny Blaze still showed up in the Spirits of Vengeance book. Johnny Blaze was dope back then. He had those like shotguns that shot Hellfire. The magic shotgun that shot Hellfire. He had like a trench coat. He rode this big hog. You know, fucking you know, long ponytail. He looked badass. He's like a carny biker outlaw dude. And him and Ghost Rider were just going around basically finding Lilith's kids. Lilith's what were they called? The Lillian? She had like a cult that was trying to raise her. And that's what led to the Midnight Suns event, that story. Her cult or her demon kids were trying to raise her. We're trying to bring her back from the dead, and that's what led to, you know, trying to get home. She was looking for the Darkhold. They brought in the Darkhold. You know, they had a Darkhold series. Then they brought in the Night Stalkers with Blade and Hannibal King and Frank Drake, right? That's his name.
Well, I think he was Dracula's son. Yeah,
it's like Dracula's descendant or whatever. And that was like the team. And then the Darkholders. What's her name? Vicky Monsanto or some shit. I can't remember.
Yeah, some shit.
Vicky something. She was like the leader of the Dark. They like held on to they were like the Infinity Watch, only for the Darkhold. You know, they protected the Darkhold. And that's what it was. It was basically the Midnight Suns versus Lilith, who was trying to, you know, bring hell on earth, you know. And it was like a horror. It was like Marvel doing horror and it only lasted a few years, which kind of
Even though it was like super popular, that everybody liked it,
yeah, and that's the thing, is like it didn't go as hard like Image or Vertigo. You know what I mean? Like you read Spawn, and there's like decapitations and hearts being ripped out of chests and blood.
Well,
And
that goes
Marvel,
back to the comics code, because it was
yeah,
still a thing at the time.
Yeah, Marvel was kind of like PG horror. Well, I say PG because like Jaws and Poltergeist is rated PG, but like watered down horror. Suggested. They had cool imagery and cool atmosphere, but they didn't show the gore.
Right.
Kills happened off screen or off panel. And then so it kind of died by the mid 90s. It kind of died out, and then Marvel was just all about the X-Men. And then if you wanted the hard shit, you went to Image or Vertigo.
Right, because there was no comics code there, so they just do whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah.
But like I said, for most of the people that are watching this, most people know Morbius from the animated series, the Spider-Man animated series show. It was a thing. Like I said, he was popular. They kind of adapted his origin from the original comics. Those things on his hands, because he couldn't suck blood because it was a children's cartoon. So what he did, he touched you with those things on his hands, and he sucked your plasma. That's how he got you. But it didn't kill you. It just made you weak. You just had to sleep it off.
Well, that's what you do when you give blood. Yeah.
Right.
We've all been there. We've all been broke and had to get.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but Danny was cool, but Blaze was the OG. He was the original one, so you kind of got to bring him back,
Yeah.
But like I said,
yeah, Danny Ketch was where all the cool powers came from.
Right. And they just turned around and did Johnny Blaze just gave it to him.
Well, it was cool. Like that's the thing about that run, is like it was like urban horror. Like Danny Ketch was more on like a street. Like Johnny Blaze, he rode like a Harley, like a big chopper. And then you had Danny Ketch, who's like more on like a street
the crotch
bike,
rocket, and
like a ninja, like a Kawasaki, more street bike, And it was like
those 90s bikes that were at the time that was popular.
Yeah, the Rough Riders and shit.
Right.
Like this urban like city like horror, almost like Gotham City, like Cypress Hill Cemetery and all that cool shit.
Right.
The underground tunnels under New York and all that. Yeah, it was cool.
Okay. But yeah, that wraps up my history of Morbius. Basically, Morbius is obscure, but he is a footnote in the history of Marvel, but not really. Like I said, they really don't use it. They try to make him a thing with Blade, where he gave Blade his powers like that. He didn't. Marvel has completely retconned that shit where it never happened. So when people say that stuff like Morbius is important, no, he's not. Never really was at the point. They just tried to make him a thing, and it never really was. But yeah. So yeah, now we can actually talk about the movie. Let's just jump into it and see what we think about the movie. Eli, I think I should go first because let me set the tone. Set the tone for this.
By all means.
Okay, all right. So people are hearing about this Morbius movie, and people want to know. Everybody's saying it's a bad movie. How bad is the movie? Did the movie kick my dog? Did it get my sister pregnant? Does it owe me $5? Stuff like that. Here's the thing: it's a bad movie. But it's not the worst comic book movie I've ever seen. I don't even think it's the worst comic book movie I've seen this decade. That would be Venom 2. So I do think it's better than Venom 2.
Okay.
That being said,
I still haven't seen that.
You're not missing anything. That being said, okay. So here's the thing. So you got Morbius, and everybody's saying ranking. How does it rank in the worst comic book movies of all time? I think there is a bottom. There's a floor of bad comic book movies like Fan Four Stick, New Mutants, just super terrible bad. I think Morbius is a step above those. It's not bad enough to be there. Like where we're going to be talking about it 5 years from now. We're not going to be talking about Morbius 5 years from now. Well, Fan Four Stick, we're talking about how shitty that movie is. Well, Morbius, it was bad, but it's a bad that's been 3 months from now, we'll forget about it. It never existed. It was just a thing. It's a thing that came and went, but that the ending of it almost made me rank it in the bottom of it. And I'll get to that ending in a second, but we're not going to go there right now. Just talking about the movie. Let's talk about some pluses about what I did like about the movie. I did like the effects, the special effects. And the special effects is a lot of times the things we don't give superhero movies credit for. Most of the time, it's just a bunch of CGI shit. It sucks. But in this one, I think it was one of the better special effects in the movie, especially when he's doing like the Echo Bat thing. I'm like, okay, That's a thing, you know. It had a tone. It did not go comedic. It did not go like, okay, Morbius did not turn into Star-Lord. You know, there weren't jokes every 5 minutes. I'm glad that they committed to a certain tone instead of trying to go there, you know, making fun of Morbius. No, it stayed with its consistent tone. So I appreciate that. Third thing, it was short.
Tone being dead.
It was a tone. It was a tone.
Totally lifeless.
Hey, it was a tone. They when it
More
stuck,
like monotone.
They committed. I'm trying to give them something, you know. And the third thing, it was short. It was a short movie. I think it was like 90 minutes, maybe less than 90 minutes. So I give them props for making a short movie. It flew by. I was like, get this movie over with so I can get home. So I give them props for that. You know. Now
In and out.
everything bad with the movie. Yeah. Everything bad with the movie, everything else. Like you said, here's the thing.
The movie.
Okay, so the movie sucks. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't go see this movie. I don't care what April Fool's jokes you see on Twitter. It's a bad movie. People that are coming back saying what a bad, it's a bad movie. It is.
Yeah, don't go watch this shit because then they're gonna make a Morbius 2.
Well, that's how you got Venom 2. That's what they're gonna do. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When you go see the movie, you're rewarding them. That's what you're doing when you go see shit like this, you know. But let me keep talking about the movie. Let me just say what other things I saw from the movie. Like I said, Jared Leto, his performance sucked. So, but here's the thing: it was a weird performance from him because, like I said, in every other like sci-fi movie we've seen from Jared Leto, he's like really over the top, overacting, like with his Joker. His Joker sucked also.
Well, it's like, did he suck or did his character suck or did both?
I mean, he's playing the character.
It all sucked.
He was playing the character, so yeah, it sucked, you know. So that's what I'm saying. But he was like underplaying it. That's the thing. Like, okay, if you're gonna make a bad movie, understand the assignment. Understand you're in a bad movie. Okay, we just talked about Nicolas Cage in Ghost Rider. Nicolas Cage understood the assignment. I'm in a bad movie. Let's ham this shit up and just go nuts. So Nicolas Cage gave you Nicolas Cage. So even though it was a bad movie, you're like, well, Nicolas Cage is going for it. Or even Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy understood the assignment. Venom are shit movies. I want everybody to stop saying they're good movies. All of them are shit movies. It's just part 2 is just a really, really shit movie. But even part 1, Tom Hardy understood the assignment. I'm in a bad movie. Let's go for it. Let's be a really bad movie. And Venom got to a point where it was so bad that some of it was almost good. Some of it. There was some scenes that were like, okay, you're going for it. You know you're in a bad movie. But Morbius never
He's having fun.
He's having fun, but he's having fun. So you can at least, okay, you're coming to have fun a little bit. But more on the other hand, Jared Leto was playing so monotone. It's almost like he was apologizing for Joker. Like, okay, I went over the top. Let me just be monotone this movie. And it was just boring. It was bland. So if you're not interested in the main character, why should you be interested in this movie? Let's see what we got. I'm not alone due to Venom. I'm not really only feeling Spider-Verse. Don't get me started. I'm coming. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But yeah, okay. So like I said, he sucked in the movie. And I don't really get the big fuss over Jared Leto in the first place anyway. You know, I mean, everybody acts like he's the next one. Like, really? Every movie I seen he sucked. Like this Suicide Squad. I mean, yeah, he sucked. So I don't know. That Denzel movie he played in last year when we was on lockdown, he sucked in that, you know. But they keep trying to make him a thing. I don't know. What else we got in this movie? Everybody trying to knock the movie saying the PG-13 rating hurt it. The PG-13 rating did not hurt this movie. Making this movie R-rated would not make it any better than what it was. Comparison to Ghost Rider, exactly what I was looking for. It's not that. As I'm saying, Nicolas Cage was in a bad movie, Ghost Rider, but
I like those Ghost Rider movies. Yeah, they're kind of dumb and cheesy, but I have fun with them. I like them.
They're not dull. They're not boring, which is what this movie was.
Yeah.
What else is wrong with this movie? The plot. I don't even know why the screenwriter even wrote his name on this movie because the plot is every Marvel movie, superhero movie plot ever. Whatever you watch the trailer of this movie, the first 5 minutes of this movie, you know every single thing that is going to happen in this movie, which is another reason that took me out of the movie. You know, spoiler alert, the first 5 minutes of the movie, he's in an orphanage or something like that with his best friend who has the same affliction he has. So guess what? That's the bad guy. We already know that. That we're brothers, we're best friends. That's the bad guy. Because it's like every other Spider-Man movie, every other Black Panther movie, whatever. Every comic movie we've ever seen, it's that.
And they don't even like show like it's like it was so obvious that they didn't even bother showing the bad guy become the bad guy. There's like, oh, well, I guess he's the bad guy, and sure enough, he was the bad guy.
I mean,
They
did
tried to,
anybody question he wasn't the bad guy?
like were they trying to make it a mystery or something? Like, who is this other vampire?
I
And
think
it's just
they
like-
were, but they didn't even
but
bother. They were like,
I didn't give a shit. Oh, it's that guy. Sure. Oh, sure.
it's like it's that guy. It's like soon
How
as he
long we
walked out
got left? No.
it's like soon as he walked out of the room, I already knew what he did. He
Yeah.
grabbed the thing. He became a. It's like what's the point? So you already know every single thing that happened in this movie, so that kind of takes you out of the movie to begin with anyway. Tyrese is in the movie. Like I said, we talked about it. He can't take April Fool's joke. He's just there. They just gave him something to do. I guess somebody owed him a favor or something. He brings nothing, but he wasn't bad. He was just there. So he just got a paycheck.
The
Cool. Good for
stupid
him.
B plot, that was pretty much worthless. But
Like, it was just padding time. That's all it was. Just padding.
just
screen
so they
time.
could explain exposition that we kind of already knew. Oh, so somebody's dead. They got their blood drained from them. Oh my God, who did this? And,
Even we knew with the first 5
Yeah.
minutes of the movie. And another thing, even though I said the movie has a consistent tone, the problem is the tone is too safe. This movie is too safe, Eli. It's a
Yes.
vampire movie.
yes.
It's a safe vampire movie. It doesn't know if it wants to be a superhero movie, a horror movie, or Twilight. It doesn't know what it wants to be, but it's scared to be any of them.
Yeah.
It's dipping its
didn't-
toe a little bit.
That's my biggest gripe is it didn't
Yeah.
commit to anything. Like it's a vampire movie with no blood.
Right.
And that sucks.
That's strike.
You know.
Pun intended. Aha. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't like as like a superhero flick, it sucked. And they're like, okay, even like if we're not going to go that as the mad scientist thing, okay, we're not going to be a vampire movie, we're not going to be a superhero movie, we're going to be like a mad scientist movie. Give me Frankenstein, give me The Fly, you know.
That's what I
know.
thought it was going to be. I thought, okay, is it going to be a Fly remake? Okay, give me that. It wasn't
You
that.
know, where he's doing these experiments and he's going mad with forbidden knowledge, and it sucked on that level too. Like
Right, because the thing is, because they because we got Jared Leto, then you got the guy, the Doctor Who. I know he's not Doctor Who. I know it's the Doctor. We're what type of nerds you think we are? It's the Doctor, but we know what Matt Smith, whatever his name is. Okay, I liked him. Actually liked him in it. I almost want to put him as one of the positives of the movie, but the movie sucks so bad. There's nothing he could do to bring this movie out of it, because I do feel like he's the only person in this movie that understood the assignment. He was hamming it up. He was cheesy. He was bad. He was going for it. And I was like, okay, something is happening in this movie, but it wasn't enough to save this movie. But the problem was that the stuff that he's doing, they should have had Morbius doing that. But they don't want Morbius to be a bad guy. He's a vampire that they don't want to be a bad guy.
Yeah,
Like,
and you don't
what-
get the sense of what. I mean, you get yes, he's trying to cure the disease. That's a given. Yeah, the Ghost Rider movies are good. I like them. But like, you don't know. Like after he vamps out on the boat and kills all the terrorists or whatever, then like another hour goes by. Then you realize he doesn't want to be a vampire. Like
Right.
he totally vamped out and ate these motherfuckers. Drained
And
them
keep
all
in
their
mind,
blood.
Tyrese goes out of his way to make it seem like that these guys that he killed are the scum of the earth. And
Yeah.
they're cops. And it's just like, well, even you did us a favor killing these guys. Don't worry about them.
Yeah, and so he vamps out on these guys, totally fucks them up, and then like another half hour goes by and he's working on experiments, and then he says, "I can't vamp out like that again." It's like, oh, so you don't want to be a vampire? Okay,
Right.
because I didn't know that. You're an hour in. Oh, he doesn't want to be a vampire. Okay, because I didn't know that.
But he never struggles with that.
No.
He's just like,
It's
okay.
just him just doing science. He's doing chemistry.
Because that would have been an interesting movie of him slowly going mad, going insane, losing himself. He never really goes
Like
there.
I said, the vampire tale, where Interview with the Vampire or Lost Boys, like when Michael gets, and that's another. They kept saying Michael. That's from the Lost Boys. But yeah, you get the sense of, oh shit, I'm becoming a vampire, and the shit that they go through, they're turning into.
And
shit,
it's a countdown. It's a countdown. They keep
Yeah.
saying, oh, each time my time gets less and less and less. So you're thinking it's a countdown before he gets to that point, but it never goes there.
Yeah. So they don't even go into, they don't even like highlight any of that. It's just him talking a bunch of shit while he's doing science stuff. And it's just pretty, yeah, like you said, bland and boring, you know.
I was summing this movie up in one word: lackluster. That's what it is. Lackluster.
Yeah.
That's the perfect word for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like a lot of it didn't make sense. Like nothing made sense. Like shit just happened. Like, why is that happening? Okay, sure. You know, like, okay, he becomes a vampire by injecting bat DNA into himself. You know, okay, bats can't do any of that shit.
You know, I'm letting that slide and let slide because you also can't get powers from getting bit by a spider. So
yeah, that's a radioactive.
I'm letting that shit
that's
go.
a radioactive spider. So there's some.
I mean, I thought he did some science shit to juice up the bats and make them steroid radioactive
but like he's
bats.
Flying
shit, you know?
and like that's man bat. He should become man bat, not a vampire. Because bat.
Yeah, and he like talking to the bats at the end. But that stuff, that's you know,
and he's flying around all graceful. Like bats are clumsy. They gotta climb up on shit and drop down. They can't just take flight. They gotta climb up and that's why they hang upside down because they gotta drop to fly. You know, so like none of these powers he had really bats can't do any of that shit. And Nightcrawler, he was like Nightcrawler. He's like teleporting through shit.
Yeah, bats can't teleport, but how is he fucking?
You know, the only thing he had was the sonar shit.
Right, that was about it.
Which was way overused. We kept seeing sonar like throughout the movie, like
the same way. Yeah, he made a bat serum and got powers, became a vampire. Yeah,
you know.
So that's his whole thing. He's a vampire by science. He's not like the undead or anything, you know.
And like the cops, they're questioning him like when they're interrogating him. Hey, we know you're a vampire. We know you're killing these people. And then he vamps out in front of them, like his face changes him, and they still just like let him. They don't even care. Like, okay, put him in his cell. Like,
at least you're gonna put a vampire in a jail cell. Okay, yeah.
You know, he like grows fangs right in front of the cops in the interrogation room. All right, get up, put him in the clink. Like, what the fuck? Like even the credit scene. Like at the end, not even the vulture shit, but the credit sequence, the ending credits. They had like 80s neon lights, like animation. Like, what's this got to do with the rest of the movie? What are we watching? Max Headroom now? Like, there's all these neon like MTV animation effects. Like, what's this got to do with? It's like they just, hey, we got a free 80s animation filter that came with our editing software. Let's just throw that
just
over
throw
the
that bullshit in.
Like they just didn't give a shit what they were doing. Like just get this shit done and get it out there.
And honestly, Eli, that's the whole point. Like people complain about plot holes and like this doesn't make sense. I'm like, I don't care. Get this movie over with. Just get to the next scene, get it over with, so we can just go home. You know,
I was like, okay, if you're gonna give me stupidity, I'm fine with that. At least entertain me. And like, give me some blood. There's no blood. There's no horror. It's impotent horror. Doesn't work as a horror movie. Lame action. Didn't work as a fucking superhero flick. And you know, it's just, it was just all around kind of lame.
So origin major spider, the same thing. He was off overseas, offshore, doing experiments, and that's pretty much the only thing that's the thing. Like if you are a comic book character, why didn't they take from the comic book? Why are they just making up bullshit just like in every other comic book movie and just making a movie of it? That's the thing. That's why we need to stop rewarding Sony for this bullshit. Because now let's talk about,
weren't they FBI agents?
Were they?
Yeah, because they was on international waters. So they're FBI agents. Because he was talking about, when we worked in San Francisco. So they worked for the FBI and he's calling them detectives. So shouldn't they be agents? What? Yeah, fuck this movie.
See, you think about it way harder than they are. Even they watch the movie like, did we? You know,
detective, FBI, cop, same shit.
I guess they got detective with the FBI, whatever. It's a Sony universe, but But here's the thing. Okay, so we got I'm still not putting it at the bottom level of the worst comic book movies, as of now, until we get to the after credit scene. The after credit scene just left
that made no sense. Again,
no
has
fucking
nothing to
sense
do.
whatever. I'm letting you know right now. This
Yeah.
is the worst after credit scene in any comic book movie ever. Ever. It's the worst one. Because it's confused people. People don't even know what the hell happened in the movie. Even professional critics, not us. We're amateur. We got other shit to do. I'm talking about professionals that actually get paid for this shit. They don't know what the fuck happened at the end of this movie. So I'm gonna tell you what happened at the end of this movie. Okay, this movie has nothing to do with the MCU. It is not in the MCU. The ending does not put it in the MCU. What Sony is doing is hoodwinking you into making you think it's in the MCU. Because, and that's why they got on there the new Marvel Legend. People are confused. They thinking it's another MCU movie. So just going, they think it's a movie they have to see, just in case Blade or Galactus shows up in the sequel or some shit like that. He's not. He's not going to be in this shit. All that happened was, I'm gonna just tell you what happened at the end. In the end. Okay, so at the end of No Way Home, we saw a much better movie than this. In the No Way Home, you had the big crackly shit in the sky, stuff like that. So apparently, in this movie, Michael Keaton, Vulture, jumps over to the Sony verse because Venom is in this universe also. So Morbius and Venom are all in the same universe. They make a quick reference to Venom and shit. So they're all in the same universe. So Michael Keaton is here now. He's over here, not over there. He's over here. You know, yeah. And he meets Morbius at the end of the movie, and like, man, you want to team up and kill Spider-Man? And Morbius like, okay. And the movie ends. The movie just ends. Just stops. That's it. It almost feels like they just recorded Jared Leto just saying, okay, sure, why not, to whatever. He don't know the answer to it, and it just recorded somebody else that's not Michael Keaton, that's in a Vulture suit, just saying, let's take over the world, some shit. They're like, okay, cool. Even though Morbius hadn't been a bad guy this whole movie, now he wants to kill people, even though that hadn't been set up. How the fuck did Michael Keaton even get the Vulture suit? Tony Stark doesn't even exist in this universe. The Chitauri never invaded. How did he get all that shit? That's where we start talking about plot holes. But the point is I'm trying to make is that Sony wants to build their own superhero universe so bad without Marvel, but with Marvel, make you think it's Marvel, that they don't care whether or not it screws up Marvel's timeline or their own timeline. Just as long as you go see these piece of shit movies. That's all they care about.
Why? Because of multiverse.
There's a multiverse. Oh,
Yeah.
man. And that's the thing. They saw a multiverse like this, is use this as an excuse. Oh, man. I'm trying not to put it at the very, very bottom, Eli. It's not New Mutants to me yet. But talking about it to you is making me want to put it on that fan four stick level.
It pretty much is to me.
that's the thing. There are levels. There are levels to this shit. A lot of people just put bad comic movies just all in the same category.
Yeah.
They're just all bad.
I mean, it basically had that level of horror. It had that light and fluffy horror that watered down crappy.
It was Twilight.
Of the New Mutant, like New Mutants, like sort of sold us. Oh, this is going to be a horror X-Men movie, and it sucked. And this was like it's supposed to be horror, but the horror sucked. So it had that light, fluffy horror that Marvel is doing. Like,
oh man, that's the thing. I'm telling everybody, if you haven't seen the movie, don't go see this movie. Don't reward them. Don't reward them for this bullshit they're doing. Because what they're going to do, they're going to start cranking out Morbius 2. They're going to start cranking out that. Because here's the thing. Craven the Hunter is going to suck. It is going to be a shit movie. Now, first off, I didn't do this in the history of Morbius, but I'm going to do this right now. Why is Sony even doing any of this shit? Why are they cranking out these bullshit ass movies no one cares about? Here's the reason. And I should have put this in the history of Morbius, but I'll go back and do it. Because Marvel sold the rights to Sony some odd years ago, 20 years ago, whatever like that. Sony is under contract. They have to crank out a Spider-Man or Spider-Man related movie every 7 years. If they don't, the rights revert back to Marvel. So they're going to keep cranking out these movies way past when we're dead. They're going to keep cranking this shit out because they don't want Marvel to get their hands back on it. Because right now, Spider-Man is actually like the most profitable thing Sony has. Their company pretty much runs on Sony and PlayStation. That is it. Because they canceled everything else. They're coming in high. We should have clicked more of this shit instead of rant. Let's see. Rank the non-MCU movies. Oh damn. That's a lot of movies. Yeah. All the X-Men, all the Sonys. Yeah.
But Deadpool's my number one. That's all I know.
Yeah, Deadpool's up there. But we're not gonna rank
Blade 2. Blade 2 is when
Yeah, because
Blade
then
2
you
is
got to
my
rank
number
all
one.
those. Yeah, got to rank all those up there. So yeah, but let's just say that Morbius is on the bottom of it. But here's the thing: we're
Into the
ranting.
Spider-Verse. I forgot. Into the Spider-Verse, my number one.
And it's about it. So Sony has the Spider-Man 1 and 2. We're told me, but technically they're MCU movies now, I guess. Loophole, yeah. But the thing is that this movie, we're complaining about it now, but 3 months from now, 6 months from now, next year from now, all of us will have forgotten this movie ever existed. We will not think about Morbius. We will look at Jared Leto. We will just remember him for his shitty Joker, not his shitty Morbius. Mainly because the Snyder bots always want to remind us about mutant Snyderverse and all this shit like that. So, oh man, this is anything else we got to say about this movie?
No.
Okay, I think we ran on a little bit too long, but I wanted to go into detail and depth because just saying it's a shitty movie, people are like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna go. No, don't fact check. Don't question us on this shit. Don't second guess us.
That's why I wait to see it myself.
Don't. Don't
Critics
judge.
are always wrong.
Right. Don't judge it for yourself. This movie sucked. I'm telling you. Oh man. All right, let's go to the next thing. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something that actually is MCU related. Now I don't know how you feel about this, but we're just gonna dive into it and stuff like that. Like I said, we did you come here for Morbius because I'll be damned if I spend a whole hour just talking about Morbius. I'm not doing that. We talked about it long enough. Let's talk about Moon Knight. I didn't do any PowerPoint presentation on this. We're just gonna talk about it. They released one episode, which is weird because Marvel usually drops like 2 or something like that. Kind of give you a feel for it. But I'm gonna let you go, Eli. What you think about Moon Knight?
It's all right.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not a Moon Knight fan. I've bitched about Moon Knight and how much I don't give a shit about Moon Knight many times on this podcast. I think he's jalopy Batman. He's Batman, only Batman that sucks. So yeah, I my expectations were kind of low going into this. So I watched it and I thought it was your standard Marvel fare. I mean, your standard action. I could totally see where it's going. I'm familiar enough with the character where I kind of know what's going on. I kind of know he's schizo. He's got multiple personalities. I know where they're borrowing from. Your standard Marvel actions, the same old fight scenes, same old fight choreography, same old car chases. And then I was like, at the end, I was like, cool. He's going to become Mumra, the ever living. And I was like, oh, all right. Now we're going to see fucking Mumra, Moon Knight. And then we don't get to see
Mummy Batman, right?
They cut away from the fight with the hyena or whatever the fuck that thing was.
I mean, it was just punch him in the face. It wasn't like a kung fu movie or
but they cut away and it was like, okay, you're trying to again, give me the light and fluffy horror, not going there when I want it to. So yeah, I thought it was okay. It didn't make me, I gotta go read a bunch of Moon Knight now. No, it's because I read a bunch of Moon Knight. Why I don't give a shit about Moon Knight. I can't wait till the next week's episode. I'm like, sure, I can wait for that. I'm not like stoked to see. I'm like it doesn't got me hyped up for the next for the series. But I'll watch it because of I got a job to do here.
No, we're not going to talk about Moon Knight again. No, we just want to get this one episode out the way and concentrate on something else. But yeah, talking about
it just ended, and I was like, "What? That's it? That's kind of what it is." Yeah, I mean, it got a little interesting for a little bit. Again, playing with the personalities. But I watched Legion, and that was I got all that shit from there. The multiple
different personalities.
I've done way better. So it just seems like your normal Marvel shit. So I thought it was all right.
Okay, let's see what we got. Some fight scene. Oh hell no! It was not, it was not on that level. No, honestly, the fight scenes in Moon Knight, I was kind of zoning out when the fight scene came. The thing that kept me interested in the show and will keep me interested in the show was Oscar Isaac. Like I said, I know you got Legion. He's doing all his first crazy ass personality stuff like that. But I want to see what Oscar Isaac does with this. We already see what he does with the British accent. We saw a little bit of Mark Spector going on there. I want to see how deep he goes with it. You know, we know he gave us a little taste. That's about it. You know, so that's gonna keep me invested. I'm not really worried about the fight scenes. Not worried about the car chase. That's it. You're right. That is standard Marvel fare. So when that stuff does come on, I check out. But when Oscar Isaac back in doing his weird schizo shit, I'm back in. He's looking in the mirror, and the mirror is talking back to him, shit like that. That's what keep me interested. So I'm gonna check out the show. Keep what it's going. You know. You say it's typical Marvel shit compared to other Disney Plus shows. This is different now compared to Daredevil and Legion and all stuff like that. Yeah. It's not Peacemaker. We know that. You know.
Yeah. Well, Daredevil went. Yeah. The Netflix shows kind of went hard, except for the Punisher.
Right.
Never gonna let that fucking lie. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they kind of went brutal. They kind of the Netflix kind of had edges to them. They just didn't have that budget. They didn't have the Disney budget, you know.
Yeah, I remember saying Moon Knight compared to, say, Hawkeye. It's a difference. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Even with the little shit that they were doing right there. So, like I said, it's levels to this shit, you know. So, but that's all we're talking about Moon Knight. I'm excited. I will keep watching because I got a Disney Plus subscription. I might as well.
Yeah. You know? That's kind of how I felt about WrestleMania. Oh yeah, sure.
It's fair. You're paying for it. I mean, you might as well. You know.
I might as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. So can we move on to the next part of the podcast?
Sure.
I was gonna do video game section, but I was like, I don't know how long we're gonna talk about Morbius. So I canceled it. So now we're gonna just jump right into it. Now we're gonna talk about the comic books. Like I said, it's the comic book bullies. We're talking about the comic books. And Eli, I'm gonna go first.
Yeah, you got more than I do.
Yeah, I usually throw more stuff on you, but you don't even know what I have. I didn't even say what I had. You just assumed.
I figured you read the X-Men.
I did. Okay, yeah, I did that. All right, so like I said, we're going to talk about the X-Men, and there's some weird stuff happening in this book. This is actually a new X-Men book because they love to crank out new X-Men #1 books, and it's the one we're doing. So the one we're doing is the Immortal X-Men #1. Okay, let me see if I get this screen up. Now, the interesting point, and I want to show you the cover of this book because the cover of this book is actually pretty interesting. It's an allusion to art. Because yes, we do talk about art on this book, on this podcast also. So for those that don't see what it is, this is a picture of Exodus with a crown on his head, surrounded by all the X-Men, stuff like that. But for those, and I should have put a picture of it. Of course, this is referencing the Last Supper, you know, where Jesus was talking to Judas and all the rest, and you know, and this woman betrayed him. Same concept. So let's just get into it and see what's going on. And it will be not the last time we talk about Jesus on this podcast because it is Sunday. Yeah, well, let's just jump into it. I'm skipping all that. I don't care. Anyway, let's start off with this. The main stuff right here. Mr. Sinister is up to sinister shit. That's all you need to know right now. Moving on past that. We go to the Quiet Council because the book is really about the Quiet Council. The Quiet Council is kind of like the parliament governing body of Krakoa, you know, the mutant island, whatever like that. And basically the thing they have going on is that Magneto is quitting the Quiet Council. He's done, you know. So while he's done, you know, some people are shocked. Some people are like, no, Magneto, you can't leave. Emma Frost is like, okay, get the fuck up out of here. We don't need you. You know, she's still salty about what, you know, him and Charles, you know, conspiring with Moria behind
the Moria shit.
Yeah, the Moria shit. She's still upset about that, you know. So she like, Magneto, get the fuck up out of here. We don't need you. Let's get his replacement right now, you know. So they actually vote right in front of him, you know. Should Magneto, you know, transition and find the replacement, or she just leave right now? And they vote him out immediately. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Mars with those other crazy ass mutants up there because at least they'll stab you in the front, you know. And then that's where we keep going on. So they have this like invitation or, you know, recruitment drive of who's gonna be Magneto's replacement. Beast, Angel, Gorgon. I don't know how hell he's back. Abigail Brand is there. Abigail Brand works for the enemy. They don't even know that. You know, they will eventually find out. I know it's gonna be a thing. But anyway. They talk about like we need to find a replacement. Should we get Legion? You know, Professor X's like hell no. I know my crazy ass son, and we don't need him on the team. You know, and then when I talking to Cypher, you want to be on it? Like nah, we're good. You know, and then Mr. Sinister walks off, and he just like while they doing this, I'm gonna go do some more evil Sinister shit. You know, but Exodus wants to recruit, so we go to the 5, and the 5 is recruiting people and shit like that. So Exodus meets you know. Hope Summers. And he's like, I want to talk to you, Messiah, because he's still calling her the Messiah because she's supposed to be the mutant Messiah. He was like, don't call me the Messiah. I'm not the Messiah. Of course you're the Messiah. You bring people back to life, don't you? Remember that mutant 2,000 years ago that used to bring people back to life also? I think he lived in Nazareth or something, you know? And I'm like, oh, are they trying to say Jesus was an X-Man?
I think
like,
so. That's his power, resurrecting people.
Well, I mean, and walking on water, and
Turning water into wine.
Yeah, I mean, I read a bunch of Jesus comics, Yeah, he did all that. Yeah, so he
Feed
like
1,000 people with bread.
resurrected himself in 3 days. You did that 5 minutes, accepting people into heaven. Scarlet Witch made heaven already. It's not, we don't call it heaven. We call it the waiting room. It's the same thing. Still heaven, So you're the Messiah. We need you on the Quiet Council. You need to replace Magneto, and he just smiles something like that. While they doing all that, the Black Queen, the vampire queen of the Hellfire Club, is saying, I want to be on the team. I mean, I want to be on the Quiet Council. I want to take Magneto's place.
Damn, she's hot.
Yeah, she's hot in everything they draw. Remember she was in a Captain America comic?
No.
You may or may not have read it, but yeah. Anyway, she's just like, look, I know magic. Scarlet Witch knows magic, but she don't know magic like I know magic. I'll do some evil shit. Either let me on the team or I'm gonna unleash some hell shit on the Krakoa army right now. And it's like, nah, we good. You can leave. And Mr. Sinister's like, she ain't gonna do shit. She just talking shit, And that's when Hope comes down. She's like, Black Queen, get the fuck up out of here. I'm taking Magneto's place. I'm Hope Summers. I'm part of the 5. And we don't trust you guys. We know some weird shit going on in the Quiet Council. So I want to be up there. And I bet Sinister saying, like, I hear a or else coming, No, not an or else. I'm just saying the people, they love me. So if word gets out that you didn't let me on the Quiet Council for whatever reason, the people will turn on you. That's all I'm saying. And the Black Queen's like, what the fuck? You gonna let her on the team? I want my spot on the team right now. If you don't, I'm gonna unleash hell on you. And that is a or else. Mr. Sinister says that's what you're looking for. And she leaves. So everybody looks around and Mr. Sinister's like, she's just talking shit. She's not gonna do shit. She ain't even got enough power to take us down. And everybody in the Quiet Council like, okay, so who should we vote for? And they vote for Hope. They're like, we're gonna put Hope. They say we pretty much have to put Hope on the team. We don't have any choice because she's gonna turn the whole island against us if we don't. So they voted in, and moving on past that. Yeah, they voted in. The moment they let it in, Professor X is just like, you know what? I'm gonna go tell the Black Queen myself that we don't let her on the team, And it's like, look, I'm sorry we didn't let you on the team, but we might use your expertise and magic, to do other stuff. I hope you're not upset. Like upset. What's upset got to do with it? I gave you an offer, you didn't take it, so I'm fucking up this island. And she called some big Krakoa monster from that weird Krakoan Iraqi island that Apocalypse conquered and shit like that. So basically, this monster's about to take over the world. And that's when they try to take it out. But Mr. Sinister's like, I'm getting the fuck up out of here. So he leaves, and he knows Destiny knows some shit, but because she knows the future. So he's like, I gotta activate my clone right now. So he goes to activate the clone.
So what happened to the bat? They don't fight the monster?
Oh, they're fighting the monster. Mr. Sinister got the fuck up out of there. So while they're fighting him, he's like, I might release the clone so I can do that. But he's like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna sit here and observe them fighting the monster so I can collect more data. So the thing is, Mr. Sinister knows a whole bunch of shit. The reason he knows a whole bunch of shit because he's been cloning mutant DNA. It's against the Krakoan law to do that shit.
Yeah.
But the mutant he's been cloning is Moria. Let me see if I can get to that. He cloned Moria. He cloned Moria 10 times. And he's been stealing her memory. So he knows everything she knows from all the timelines.
Dun, 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 dun,
dun. Right. And so that's what's going on right now. So yes, Jesus is the X-Man. Mr. Sinister doing Mr. Sinister shit. That's going to the book. I'm into it. Yeah.
I'm just trying to. That's got me thinking. Mm-hmm. What can he do with her?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He has all the her knowledge.
He has her knowledge, yeah. That was saying because he was predicting the future up until that point. He was like, "Oh, I need her to do this. I need her to do that." So he's predicting the future.
So was he doing this the whole time? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know. He probably was, but he was pretending like he was.
And all that House of X and all that shit, or Ten of Swords, or
right,
whatever. Like we were seeing all that future shit with Nimrod and. Yeah.
So what they're saying is that he knew the whole time. he was pretending like he didn't know. He didn't
Yeah,
want
he's
them
been
to
up
catch
to,
on.
well, I mean, just because I was reading the Hellions and he was doing all kinds of shady shit during that.
Right.
So he was
The only
he was
reason he's
cloning the whole
revealing
time, yeah.
right. The only reason he's revealing it now is because Destiny is back on the Quiet Council. So he
Mm.
knows Destiny knows the future. So he like, I don't need to pretend around her because she knows, you know.
Yeah.
And he knows that Destiny is on purpose fucking with the future just to fuck with him.
So I didn't read the rest of that Wolverine shit with the where Moria was on the run.
Right. None of that is referenced here.
Okay, but what
You
happened
just
to
completely
Moria?
ignore this shit.
Because Moria
She-
lost her powers and she was on the run. Whatever happened to her?
I don't know. I'm gonna go listen to Gomer on this Geeks and Comics. They reviewed it. So yeah.
Yeah, because that
How to
Celine
use a
pulled up.
kaiju taxi. And Celine pull a Captain America running AIDS. I don't know. Remand her. You win against human now. Yeah, but didn't she do all that shit before Krakoa was around? So technically it don't count. Who cares? Whatever. But yeah, that's what's going on right now. So here's the thing. This is written by the same guy that's writing the Eternals comics. Kieran Gillen, whatever his name is. He does some other books also. Now, the thing is, this book, I kind of flew through it because a lot of this book is just them talking and contemplating on their actions that they did. I ain't got time for all this shit. Just get to the meat of it. You know, that's why I kind of just flew through the book.
Get to the kaiju battle that they didn't show.
Exactly. You know, just get to the end of it because there's a lot of shit that happened that was unimportant. I don't care how Magneto feels that the Quiet Council doesn't want him there. Who gives a fuck? Leave. You know. So yeah. And plus, the more you got him on there, that way you could tie in to the Eternal versus X-Men versus Avengers, just mean shit that's coming up down the road. So yeah. 15 episodes is agree. Isaac makes it. Yeah. Oh, Isaac makes Moon Knight interesting. So yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Legion is a weird show. It's cool. I dug on it, but yeah, it's weird. It's an acquired taste. You know, they do like a lot of musicals, a lot of singing. There's a like a rap, but like there's a action sequence where you think they're gonna fight each other. The superhero battle, they end up having a rap battle.
And you bashed me for watching the CW. I'm your super friend. All right, so
Hey, but the CW doesn't have heads blowing up and shit.
Oh man! All right,
right.
so what you got next?
Should I do the Morbius now or later?
We say retro for the end.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll do Ghost Rider since we're do Ghost Rider number 2 of this new run, right?
Cool.
I
didn't get that one.
What's his name? Who's writing this again? Is it Cullen Bunn? I don't even remember now. I'm a doofus.
I got that.
So Ghost Rider number 2, this new arc. Johnny Blaze woke up in some town, and it's obviously a dream. It was almost like a dream. He had a wife and he had kids and shit, but he had like an injury and he was seeing a therapist and shit. And he's having all these weird nightmares. But it turns out that some demons put him in this like prison and they had him trapped in this town. And he's like, "Oh shit, this
Vegas, Las Vegas."
No, it's just a town. It's just some small town. They have him trapped there, and he figures it out. He basically escapes, and he's been on the road for the last couple months. You know, traveling around, trying to keep Ghost Rider. He doesn't want to become Ghost Rider, you know. So he's not sleeping much because he's afraid he'll, Ghost Rider out while he's asleep. He ends up checking into a motel, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here to." I was like, I need to keep myself busy, and I'm kind of short on cash. Is there any work you need done around here? He's talking to the owner of the motel. I was like, yeah, you can, go clean the toilets and sweep and shit. So while he's doing that, he ends up finding out that this behind the mirror is like a secret passageway, and this owner of this motel is basically a serial killer. And it's
just
like,
happens to walk up on a serial killer.
Yeah, he's a serial killer, and he's killing all the customers, the people at the hotel, and he brings them down into this underground cavern, and he's feeding these people, his victims, to this giant monster.
Wow. Okay.
And So Ghost Rider's out at the fucking, he turns into Ghost Rider, goes down there, and it turns out that monster is like, damn it, Blaze, we had you trapped. How did you escape? We're sick of you. Because he took over hell and the demons are salty about it. So they can't stand Ghost Rider right now. So that's basically where it ends. He ends up fighting the monster. Also, there's this FBI agent and this psychic goth chick who is looking for Ghost Rider, and and she's like, I know where he is, so they're looking for Johnny Blaze, and that's like a little again with the cop B plot. So yeah, this was cool. I really dug on it. I'll give it 4 out of 5. Art's cool. Yeah, really leaning into the horror shit. So
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Good time for April leaning horror shit.
Yeah.
All right. So this one is a bittersweet book we're going to do right now. We're going to do Dark Ages number 6. This is the last book in this little Elseworld multiverse thing we got going on. Written by Tom Taylor. Tom Taylor has signed a exclusive contract with Marvel, with DC. So this is his last Marvel book he's going to write for the foreseeable future. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Man, interesting novel. What happened to Danny Ketch's Spirit of Corruption? Is that it? What's that?
Oh yeah, he got that other spirit. That was going on. Yeah, Danny Ketch isn't in this book yet. This is all Johnny Blaze shit. He'll
probably show up eventually. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going on right now. So like I said, Tom Taylor's last Marvel book before he just signed exclusively with DC to break out DC stuff like that. So like I said, there's another Elseworld book where Tom Taylor's go nuts and just, like I said, he wrote Injustice. He wrote Deceased. So this is his wheelhouse to just give him his own universe and let him just wreck shop and just do whatever the hell he wants to do. So that's
just
going
play
on.
with the toys.
Just play with the toys. Just do what he wants to do. Like I said, it's the Dark Ages where there is absolutely no electricity in the Marvel universe right now. The superheroes got to do the best they can. 5 years later, Apocalypse trying to take over the world. That's where we are right now, and they're trying to stop him from taking over the world. All right, so now we all caught up. Let's get to the end of it. We see Miles Morales, and he's just at a campfire talking to Pete, telling him what he's been doing for the last 5 years. He was like, when the lights went out, I found Venom, and we kind of like saved each other. So this is Venom Miles Morales, if you ever want to know what he looked like. So that's him. So we were just, Venoming around, doing stuff like that. Then he got attached to Carnage. Carnage and Venom took over my body, got in my head, and they were pretty much in the driver's seat, and I was in the back seat, or in the trunk, And Dr. Doom was just like, well, damn, that's fucked up, Yeah, I thought he was talking to Pete. He was talking to Dr. Doom the whole time. That's fucked up. Skip past this, don't care. Oh, yeah. Okay, so they got Captain America's shield, and he's saying, okay, I got Captain America's shield, but Tony Stark's been mind manipulated by the Purple Man. He's like, yes, but I need pure adamantium to get this shit done. You need done. What Apocalypse's evil plan is that he wants to teleport his mind into the celestial buried in the center of the earth that is, stopping electricity all in the world. So he can become the celestial. But for some reason, Tony Stark needs pure adamantium to do that. So he's like, don't worry, I got you. I can take care. So in his basement, he's got Wolverine there, and he's just been there for just years, And then he teleports down there, and it's the Purple Man, Cyclops, and Apocalypse. And Purple Man takes off Cyclops' visor. He's like, yeah, you don't need this. And Cyclops like, no, Wolverine, kill me before they make me do whatever I'm about to do. So Wolverine rushes at him, and Purple Man tells Cyclops to open your eyes. So Wolverine tries to get to him before Cyclops can do what he does. Too late. Boom. Blast him. Wolverine still coming at him. And the reason he doesn't die is because they're like in this small cave where he can't go anywhere elsewhere. So, and he gets him, and boom. So Apocalypse drops off Wolverine's adamantium skull at Tony Stark's desk. He's just like, there you go. Your adamantium. Now, get the shit done. Oh, and you see Wolverine's body, his skeleton right there, floating. Yeah. So skipping on past that. Oh, yeah. So we found out the evil plan. Dr. Octopus is telling Apocalypse the side effects that might go on with the plan. He was like, yeah, we can put your body in a celestial, but if we put your body in a celestial, we might not be able to get you out because your powers might not work. So there's no way for you to get out of there. He like, the only way for you to, he like, okay, so what's the problem? I'm stuck in a celestial body. He was like, well, the only way for you to get out of there is to destroy the planet. Like, okay, what's your problem? I don't see the problem. Okay, I destroyed the planet. You'll kill everybody here. You're like, oh, I tell you, that's why I liked you. You was always smart, a little too smart. So then he does some apocalypse shit and rips him in half. So like, I can't let everybody know my evil plan until my evil plan is done. So you got everybody riding in the Deadpool bus, and Pete ride stuff like that. Oh, and you got Moon Girl and Dr. Octopus coming up with a plan to take down Apocalypse. We don't know what the plan is, but Dr. Doom says, damn, that's some evil shit what you just said. So it's an evil plan. We're like, he shouldn't have fucked with my dinosaur. So now I gotta take him out. So that's the plan. So we're like, okay, well, this plan might work, So everybody gets there, they say their goodbyes. Pete tells, May, you gotta protect the dinosaur because I don't want you coming with us. We about to go do some hero shit, So they leave Danny and May behind with Devil Dinosaur. Devil Dinosaur still recovering from what they did before. They see Dr. Octopus, pieces of Dr. Octopus on the ground, and then they're like, okay, we got to go. We see him. Let's go into it. So Storm starts it off and she does her Storm shit, rains, basically puts a hurricane inside of, Apocalypse evil lair, so they know it's go time. This is time. So Purple Man brings out his team, which is the Avengers. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, and Dracula. Yeah, because he possessed all of them. So the Avengers versus the remaining heroes that are left, and they just got an all-out free fall. They just go for it. They just battle shit like that. Meanwhile, while they're battling, Dr. Doom is fighting Dracula. And in the middle of the fight, Dr. Doom has said, Dracula, you idiot. Stop fighting me. Stop trying to eat me. I'm trying to tell you something. And then Purple Man just doing like, yes, kill everybody. Kill them all. Bam. Blast in the head. And Deadpool just shot him. He's like, what's the problem? And they were like, Moon Girl was just trying to knock him out. You have to kill him. Like, well, it got done anyway, so fuck it, who cares? Jessica Jones, you want to kick his corpse, something like that? I knew you wanted to kill, So and all the Avengers shaking it off. So now they're on the hero side of the good guys also. So everybody's there. So that means that Tony Stark is free also. So he's not gonna build Apocalypse thing. So Apocalypse, well, you fucked up, Tony. Guess I gotta kill you now. So, but before you can kill him, his powers cut off. You're like, what the hell happened to powers? Sue Storm cut off his powers. She put like a little invisible bubble in his brain to cut off the part of his power that gives him his powers. So he's powerless. Nightcrawler teleports, takes off his armor, and when he does that, Dracula teleports behind him and bites him, turns into a vampire. So now Apocalypse is a vampire. And Dracula's like, now you will be mine forever. And as soon as that happens, Blade comes out of nowhere. Blade stabs both of them and chops both of their heads off at the same time to kill two birds. He literally kills two birds, one stone, And he's like, yeah, forever is a mighty long time. Love that great album. But yeah, so now that Apocalypse's head has been chopped off, him and Dracula will turn to dust and they're dead, and all the heroes are back and everybody's there. And they rescue Magneto because Magneto was powering Apocalypse, house, whatever like that. So the power never gets cut back on because they never go to the center of the earth to free that celestial. So they're just stuck in this hellhole. But they're like, it's better than nothing. The end. So that's how it ends. Cool. Yeah, like I said, this book started off rough at first, but it ended pretty strong. For just this little story that Tom Taylor just cranking out. It was fun.
I didn't even stay with. I only read like the first couple.
It was fun watching a whole bunch of weird shit just happen. Just like Tom Taylor, well, how weird can this shit get? Miles Morales, Venom, and Carnage combo. Okay, I'm sold. So overall, strong story. It'll be fun in a trade for people when it's collecting trade to go back and read the whole thing. You'll have fun with it. So yeah, thumbs up. Oh, hold up, we got before you. So let me see what we got here. Blade was having it. Every Spider-Man in-law have a better costume than him. Seems like it. Yeah. Except for Miles' new costume. That shit sucks. But yeah. All right. So what you got, Eli?
I'll do Shadow War Alpha.
Now here's the thing. I did read it. I
can
throw some pictures of it. Yeah, I can throw some pictures if you want, but if not, you can do your thing.
You can if you want. I got one too. I got three.
Cool. Okay.
I got this big girthy thing. Look at that.
Nice. You said you're gonna make it work, so yeah.
Yeah, so Shadow War Alpha, it's basically Deathstroke assassinates Ra's al Ghul. Or did he?
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm not reading like the Robin book, you know, the Damien book, where because they reference that tournament,
He
the
lost the
league
tournament,
of
but he won in spirit or some shit. I don't know.
tournaments or whatever the fuck he was doing,
Yeah.
or the Deathstroke Incorporated. I'm not reading any of that shit. So they were making references to shit that I wasn't sure what was going on. But so yeah, Ra's al Ghul goes to Gotham to do a speech, some sort of.
Well, they turned himself in.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
and he's talking publicly, and while he's doing that, boom, he gets shot in the head, and it looks like Deathstroke. Oh shit!
Hold on, let me show. Let me show. I gotta show the image.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm not cutting this off. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah.
Bang.
Boom. Yeah. So Ra's al Ghul gone.
Yeah. Well.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, while you're doing that, yeah. Get the part with the grenade.
Oh, okay. Okay. You talk. I'll do
So,
this thing.
so yeah, so Ra's al Ghul's laying dead in the street, and Damien's like, "Oh shit, I better go get his body," because he can just throw his ass in the Lazarus pit and bring him back. But then Deathstroke
And you
throws
can
a
see
grenade.
the countdown. Yeah, the countdown.
Yeah.
Take it down. He like either let me go or you go. But even though I shot him in the head, if you get his body, you can still bring him back. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So Damien's running over to try to grab, his grandpa. But then right before the grenade goes off, Batman saves Damien. And then boom. So the grenade goes off and blows up Ra's al Ghul's body. And Damien's
So no more resurrection. No more resurrection.
So they can't resurrect him now. And,
Yeah.
and Damien's like, "Grandpa," and you're such an asshole, Dad. And him and Batman kind of get into it. My grandparents keep dying. And they're referencing Alfred, and Batman said some shitty shit. Well,
that was some fucked up shit he said. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that because he was like, "I lost 2 grandfathers because of you," and then Batman's going to say, well, if I was there, I would have saved Alfred.
Yeah.
And then Damien, now that look, there was no word. It was just Damien just gave him that look like, what the fuck? You just hear him cursing him out in his face, you motherfucker.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah, that happened.
Mhm.
And then cut to Deathstroke Inc. or whatever's going on. Deathstroke and his army of Deathstrokes. I
guess
don't know.
he owns his own country or something like that.
Yeah.
No, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this though.
Okay.
Okay. So Talia, to get revenge on Deathstroke, recruits every League of Assassin member ever. All of them. Merlin, Sportsmaster. I see who's that other guy? Onyx. There's a whole bunch of people. Like, she got all of them. Like, even though we beefing right now, all y'all come together. I want you to kill Deathstroke. I want you to kill his kids. I want you to kill Deathstroke Incorporated. Anybody that gets in his way, kill everybody. They all got to go.
His friends, his family,
his dog, everybody goes.
Yeah. His taxman, his gardener, everybody. Yeah. So then meanwhile, back at Deathstroke's headquarters, it's all over the news. Deathstroke killed Ra's al Ghul, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, man, what the fuck do you do that for? He can't be doing this shit." And Deathstroke's like, "Hey, I didn't do that. That wasn't me. He was wearing my old armor. I didn't do this shit." So they're like, "Well, who did it?" And that's kind of where it ends. Like, who really killed Ra's al Ghul?
Right.
But meanwhile, they're like, here comes fucking Talia and her crew of assassins. Like, oh shit. Well, before we figure that out, we got to fight these motherfuckers.
Right.
And that's where the book ends.
It's supposed to continue in Batman. So this is like a crossover, Batman crossover.
Yeah. And I dug on this.
I wasn't looking forward to this at all, but I read it and I was like looking what's going on. Like, oh, it's like an assassination plot. You got to go on with this and it's tying and all the other bullshit. Hey, I'm good for a good crossover. This might have gotten me back on Batman at least for a limited amount of time.
Yeah, because I've been burned out. I haven't been reading Batman or Detective for like a couple months now. I've kind of fell off. And this was sort of a fuck it purchase. I was like, what's this? Because it was a light week for me. You know, comics. I was like, well, I just looked at this and Deathstroke assassinates Ra's al Ghul. Oh, that sounds kind of interesting. So yeah, it was like a spur of the moment, fuck it I'll check this out.
Yeah,
I
and
ended up
even I was
digging
thinking
it.
like it's Ra's al Ghul. He just come back. Like, nah, they blew his body up. Like, he ain't
Yeah.
coming back.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I didn't think I would. So yeah, 4 out of 5. I'm on board.
All right, you're up. I'm booked out.
Really? You only did
Yeah,
one book?
I was going to do Alpha War or whatever that shit was.
Oh, we should said that. I would have let you do it.
No, I wanted to do it. They want to take that from you.
Well, what else I got? I got the I Something is Killing the Children, number 21. Do I even have it up? I don't even have it. Hold up. Let me get it up. That's what she said. And this image isn't even from the book. I couldn't find it. So this is James Tynion, his horror book that I've been on for a while. It's back. The new story arc started. He's been doing that House of Slaughter spin-off series that I haven't really been following. But this is the main book. Basically, these monsters go around killing kids, eating them, and there's an organization that goes around hunting them, the House of Slaughter. And this is a new story arc. Basically, where it's a new town, a new set of victims. This little girl is the sole survivor of a monster feast. Her whole family got eaten by monsters. The police showed up and they're trying to the cop is like trying to talk to her and like trying to comfort her and trying to comfort her because she knows she's grieving, but he also is trying to figure out what happened. And that's this thing about these books is like there's been a lot of like emotional depth to these. Like you really get into grief and the trauma and the pain that the characters go through. It isn't just your normal, gory horror book. I mean, it does do that. There's plenty of horror and blood, but there's a lot of like emotional depth that I appreciate with this book. So really getting into this girl and what happened to her family, and the cop that's trying to help her, but he's also trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. It's like, you're the only one who's seen what happened to your family. We gotta figure this out. And she ends up getting angry, ends up like running away. So she runs away, goes out into the woods or whatever, or where she was at. She was out in the, like by the road. So she's sitting there kind of like crying on the side of the road. And then somebody said, "Hey, kid, we need to talk." And she turns around and it's Erica, one of the monster slayers. And that's where the book ends. So Erica's back, ready to slay monsters. So pretty cool. I'm back on board. I dig this book. 4 out of 5. So
okay, glad he back on it. So
yeah.
All right.
And then
now,
you're done, right? I guess the only one I got is the retro book. Did you ever read this?
Morbius 1. I'll be honest with you, Eli. I've read so many comics in my life.
Yeah,
I don't know if I have or not, but
I haven't read this since I was like, back in the 90s. So, so this is Morbius number 1. We're doing the retro review because of the movie. This is basically part 3 in the Midnight Suns event. So it's Morbius number 1, but it's part 3 in the storyline. So before, back to the Midnight Suns, it's Ghost Rider and Johnny Blaze fighting Lilith and her crew of demons. Basically, the book starts out. Morbius vamps out and kills an innocent woman, drinks her blood. He can't stand himself. Like, why? I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this. I can't kill any people to live. Cut to Ghost Rider and Johnny Blaze. They're looking for Blackout. They've been going around trying to kill all of Lilith's demon children. The Lillian? What are they called? The Lillian? Her
the
crew of demons.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Cut to Lilith. Lilith is at a metal show. That's
It's the 90s. It is the 90s.
Yeah. She's at a metal show and she's like, "What is this blasphemous noise we're listening to?" And Blackout's like, "It's called speed metal." It says, "Oh, well, these wayward children will be, I will recruit them all for my, my demon family or whatever." So back, the good old, back in the day when, if you listen to heavy metal, you were considered a devil worshiper, back the good old days. Back to so we're trying to find so basically Lilith had a vision that there was 9 mortals, or there's 9 people that were supposed to destroy her. So she's going around trying to kill them all. So she gets words about Morbius. And same thing with Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider has a vision, takes her to what's her face? His fiance. Can't remember her name. And she's like, "Oh yeah, Michael Morbius. That was my husband." And then that's where you get a brief recap of who he is. It's the relaunch. We haven't seen this character in like a good decade, so they're relaunching it. That's where we get a flashback of his origin and a brief history of fighting Spider-Man and Doctor Strange and shit. He had this disease. He did experiments, turned himself into a vampire. Blah 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 blah. We get that sequence. And basically she's trying to create a cure for him, and she recruits this other doctor, and that doctor ends up working for Lilith, or in cahoots with Lilith, and he creates the serum that's supposed to kill Morbius. So they give it to Morbius, but it doesn't kill him. He like vamps out and mutates and takes off, and then Lilith has her cronies show up. They're like, "What the hell happened to Morbius? He was supposed to die." So they end up murdering the doctor and his wife. And then Morbius comes back and sees his wife dead. Like, "You bastards," vamps out, kills all them motherfuckers, and then goes off on a rampage. Ghost Rider and Johnny Blaze show up and like, "Yo, man, we need you to help fight Lilith. This mother of demons coming. She's trying to, Martine.
That was the chick in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. What's her first name? I can't remember her first name. Anyways.
That is her first name. Yeah.
Or her last name. She's got another.
Bancroft. Yeah.
Bancroft. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So Ghost Rider is like telling Morbius, "Yo, we're fighting this demon chick, and we need your abilities, to help us." And give him the penance stare. He ends up giving Morbius the penance stare. And Morbius sees all the misery that he's caused, and Morbius just looks back at Ghost Rider like, you think I don't know this shit already? I already know this shit. I want to die. I don't want to live anymore. I'm sick of being a vampire and killing these innocent people. So Ghost Rider's like, "Well, why don't you use your fucking powers for good and only kill bad people?" Says, "Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be Morbius, the living vampire who will only drink the blood of the guilty." And that's kind of where the book ends. And, he ends up joining again. It's part 3 in this Midnight Sun stories. They end up recruiting Blade and the Night Stalkers and the Darkhold, and it continues on. But this is the relaunch of Morbius. So, yeah. So good old back in the day shit.
Yeah. Like I said, they tried to relaunch Morbius. Mainly thing, the 90s had a bad habit. I don't want to say bad habit. Take all the villains and make them good guys or anti-heroes, or make them walk that line and just see what happens,
Yeah.
Deadpool, Venom, all those guys like that,
Yeah, I mean, and like Ghost Rider, it was the popularity of Ghost Rider that led to all this. And like the killing and all the stuff happens off panel. It's all suggested. It doesn't go as hard as, Image or Vertigo, but the art is still pretty cool. Like the design, his redesign, as you can see in this pic, he's not as cheesy as he looked in like other comics.
See, now you're gonna make me read all this Morbius shit. I wasn't going to do that, but now I kind of you piqued my interest I don't think I read that stuff in the night. I read Ghost Rider and I saw the Morbius, but I never picked it up.
Yeah, I actually bought this because I was following it at the time. I bought this off the rack. I mean, they were doing all kind of, they had that glow in the dark Ghost Rider covers and shit.
Oh, the ash can covers and all stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, with the cool
collector's edition
plastic like designs, the plastic bag that it was bagged, but it had like designs on the bag and shit.
Yeah, because the Midnight Suns ran through like all those books, Ghost Rider, Night
Yeah,
Stalkers.
it was tie-in. There was all these different tie-ins. Yeah. So it was, I mean, it was fun to just go back and, you know, reminisce, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's just too bad it didn't stick, you know.
So you're saying they had source material they could have cribbed to make a Morbius movie, and it made that bullshit.
Yeah. It's like, the after credit scene. Ooh, is it gonna be Lilith or anybody else from what he was? You know, no. Let's bring a Spider-Man shit.
Right. I mean, but they might not have the rights to all this shit, and plus, Morbius might not even really need to be a Spider-Man character because I think he fought Spider-Man like one time and just did other shit. But since he debuted in the Spider-Man book, it's just like, we own you. Fuck it. You know, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. All right. So I'm okay. I'm been booked out also. Appreciate everybody that's been checking in on us. Hopefully we give you a good excuse not to watch that movie. Don't watch it. Don't go for yourself or judge your own opinion, stuff like that. No, just don't see it. Trust us. If you don't trust us on anything else, trust us on this. You know. We'll come back next week with something else. I don't know.
Wait till it comes on something.
It'll come on.
Yeah.
Peacock. I don't know. Some shit. It'll come on something.
Yeah.
Crackle.
Watch that shit.
Yeah.
TV, yeah.
With all the other hood movies and shit that'll be on there. But yeah, we'll come back next week with some other stuff. I don't know what we'll talk about, but I'm pretty sure something will happen. Hopefully nothing catastrophic will happen. We'd have to just drop everything we're doing, just talk about it. You know, just something we can just ease into it. Oh, we just talk about comics all day. Hopefully we can do that. You know.
It's the first of the week, so all the new titles will be out. The new monthly titles.
Exactly. So we'll see how it goes. But until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.
Yeah. Packs in the mail, packs on the road. Connect FaceTime said he just hit the last of my load. The shit on my neck that come from the packs that I sold. I never went platinum or gold. You still fuck with him and you know he a rat and he told. Love when a nigga talk stupid, cause that's when shots went down and he clapped at his pole. Trust me, that doesn't bode well for a nigga. It's gonna be victims. I'm a street nigga, boy, you know the difference. Hand around the throat of the rap game and I'm bold constricted. My soul is missing. In the top spot, I got soul position. Man, this hoe is tripping. She think I wanna taste the pussy. I ain't tasting shit like a COVID symptom. I'm a soldier.
Look, I got no resistance with a Colt 45 gold edition. I'm a dope magician. Niggas disappearing if I hear him dissing. Killer engineering, killer nigga mixing. And the 6 niggas still flipping Nixon. Second strike, they finna Billy Clinton. Red and white, he got the blues. Turn them into food. Everybody grip a biscuit. Running lights inside the city limits. I'm excited. My little shouted, she the shit. And we inside of something simple with suicidal. Finish the sentence. Door closed, chop the head off a chicken. Morse code if I'm talking, I'm clicking. Lights flicking, tell them hold your position. Money motivated, mind on the mission. Straps in the lap, in the pack, got a lock on the back of the cabinet doors. I lit a match for the torch in the game for the real niggas only. The fake get exposed. Scraping the plate, breaking the bowl. Making the shake, taking it home. I'm in the A with the K, so come on if you crazy. Cold ass world going out, guns blazing. Fuck what you niggas saying.
Going out, guns blazing. Cold ass world, niggas get done flagrant. World gone mad, even my son vaping. I'm in my bag, nigga, I'm done playing with you. Getting rich outside like it's based in the 80s. Spot jumping like Tracy McGrady. 10 chains on niggas face looking crazy. I still get a paycheck from Shady. Yeah, I got my reasons, yeah. My little niggas is demons, yeah. They pull up and shoot for no reason, yeah. I got my reasons, yeah. I got my reasons, nigga. I got my reasons. I got my reasons, yeah, yeah. I got my reasons, yeah, yeah. I got my reasons, yeah, yeah. I got my reasons, yeah. I got my reasons, yeah.
You so thirsty, you drinking poison, nigga. You ain't gangster, stop kidding around, bring the toys in, nigga. Luda's your daddy, you should be happy I'm giving you playtime. But none of you rappers could see me, not even if I was to pick up on FaceTime. You wasting time hating on another nigga when you could be making money yourself, ho. Featherweights, I make them levitate, get spanked with the heavyweight belt, ho. Oh, and the crowd goes wild. Creed 2, tell them throw in the towel. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, like Rick James, have a coke and a smile. Fuck your couch and your whole existence. You leaving your family and the kids defenseless. Headed to an early grave, now you dead and broke. Life beat them senseless, get it? Bow down to rap's dignitary, cause Luda always been a visionary. I always knew you was a bitch, so I just read your obituary, nigga.
Yeah, I got my reasons, yeah. My little niggas is demons, yeah. They pull up and shoot for no reason, yeah. I got my reasons, yeah.